How does pain work in the body? Why do we feel pain sometimes and not feel pain other times? Especially if we know we have a particular issue in an area of our body, maybe in our joint or neck or a lower back. Again, why do we feel pain sometimes and not others? Well, to understand that, all right, to understand why that is the case, we need to understand how pain works in the body. To understand that, we need to use a little bit of an analogy here, okay, and a little prop. The prop I'm going to use is a bathtub. You know those clawfoot bathtubs, right? Now, personally, I don't like them. I wouldn't want to shower in one because they look rather confining, and then you have to have that funky thing up top with the curtain hanging from it. So I don't want that. I'd rather have plenty of room to stand, okay? But anyway, I'm getting off topic. So let's pretend we have this clawfoot bathtub and it's over there, okay, across the room from you and I. And let's pretend the faucets are turned on, so there's water going into the tub. Now, from our vantage point across the room, that's all we know, right? There's water going into the tub. In fact, I can see it from here. There's water going into the tub, and we don't know what's happening after that. Now, let's pretend that the drain is open. Well, if the drain's open, the water's going into the tub, and it's flowing out the bottom, right? Okay? Now, if the drain gets stopped up, right? The water's still going in, but if the drain suddenly gets stopped up, what's going to happen to the water level? You're right. It's going to start to rise. Very good. See, you're not a plumber, are you? Okay. All right. Seems like you've got some plumbing experience. Yes, the water level is going to start to rise. Now, eventually, as it keeps rising, what's going to happen? Yeah, exactly. It's going to overflow. It's going to get to the lip of that tub. The water level is going to rise, and then it's going to start to overflow, right? It's going to go over the edge of that tub and start to spill all over the floor, okay? Well, that's similar to what happens in the body. When we have an issue that begins, the drain gets stopped up, a problem starts, the problem starts to build up. As it builds up, it finally gets to the point where the edge of that tub, we call this the pain threshold, okay, the pain threshold, and then the water finally gets to the top of that and overflows. Well, now, once the problem exceeds the pain threshold of the body, and everyone's is different, everyone's pain threshold is different, yours is different than mine. Once it exceeds that and it overflows, well, now that problem goes from unconscious to conscious. We can now feel it. It becomes real because basically we know something's there by what we can feel, right? If we can't feel it, what do we think? If we have no pain, what do you think? Yeah, we think we're fine. We think we're doing great, okay? But that doesn't necessarily mean we're healthy, does it? No. So when that water gets to the level of the lip and then exceeds it and overflows, well, that's when we start to feel the pain. Now, the first thing we would do then, let's go back to the plumbing problem we have here now, right? So we would run across the room and turn off what? Yeah, exactly, the faucets, okay? Right, we turn off the faucets, and shortly after that, what's going to stop happening, right? Yeah, the water's going to stop overflowing, right? Because it's overflowing, and then we stop the influx of water, and finally it gets to the point where it's just even to the top of that tub. Now, let's go back to the body now, right? It's just below the surface, we can feel it. Let's say we do a little bit more. We start to feel a little better, we get back on the pickleball court, and we play 4 games in a row, okay? Now, all of a sudden, we're lunging for that ball that we knew was going out of bounds to begin with, and what happens, okay? We cause overflow again. It's like that faucet getting turned on again. More water goes into the tub, it overflows, and we become conscious of that problem again. It exceeds that pain threshold, okay? Really interesting, isn't it? So now we can feel it. So if we go over there, we turn off that faucet, we haven't fixed the problem yet, have we? Because the tub is still full. That water is still right at the lip. So what we have to do is not only take care of that, we have to fix the problem. So if a plumber came to your house and you got all this water overflowing and he goes over and turns off the faucets for you and says, that'll be $75, please, you'd be like, well, wait a second, I'm not sure we fixed the issue. And you'd be right. And it's the same thing when it comes to the body. We want the plumber to fix that drain issue, right? So we can drain the tub. Now everything's flowing again. We can turn that water back on, and the water represents activity, life, all the things that you want to be able to do, but we can't be doing those things if the tub is stopped up, okay? So we have to make sure that everything is flowing just like our muscles are flowing, the nerves are flowing, the joints are moving. Everything needs to be moving if we're going to be healthy. But understanding how the body works, that if we wait for the pain, often the problem has been there for a long time. And if we take it easy for a little while the pain goes away, it doesn't mean the problem has. So we have to be careful when we're asking our body to do things, that we're treating it the right way. And when a problem is discovered, we need to address that and make sure we correct the root of the problem, the cause of the problem, not just the pain. We don't just want to turn the faucets off. We actually want to drain the tub.